bewildered by Chi-Chi's request. Krillin remembers she wanted Gohan to become a great scientist or something. Why would she want them to train Goten for?
That's what I'm saying.
Crossing her arms, she knows that the world is at peace. But since Cell left all those years ago, she can't shake this bad feeling she has he'll come back. And on that day, the world will need a hero. Goten isn't like his brother was. He only likes fighting and isn't interested in his studies. Though the boy objects, he does also like video games. And if he's being honest, Krillin has had the same feeling regarding Cell. However, he doubts he himself can shape the kid into a fighter capable of beating him. Even Goku and Gohan couldn't do anything. She retorts not to worry about Goten. She's been training him herself, and he's much stronger than they think. But he's still young. Goku and Gohan went through fights to the death to reach such levels. Chi-Chi huffs Gohan was only 4 when Piccolo trained him, and to just fight Goten himself and he'll see. The mere mention of a fight is enough to make the child's hair stand on end.
I just finished
Well,
rewatching
she urges him to do as she says.
Whatever.
It's Goku's son they're talking about.
Word, bro.
Though the former
This-
student
it's
doesn't know
tough,
what to
bro.
think
I'm
of
not gonna lie,
this.
it's tough.
He reminds Krillin he's been training for the last 7 years like never before. Look at this as a test. This gets Goten excited. He beckons. For real? We're gonna fight? Please say yes, Mr. Baldi. But for starters, he can call him Krillin. But he wins. They can do a little bit of training. Mirroring his father's enthusiasm, he jumps into the air ecstatic.
Word.
Roshi jostles, he thinks he should go easy on him though. If he hurts him, Chi-Chi could kill him. But this was his idea. Chi-Chi tells her son it's important to stay hydrated before training and to remember what she told him before coming here. This sight takes the old-timer back almost 30 years ago. The resemblance with his father is uncanny, almost troubling. Goten inquires if his mother is planning to fight too, but she doesn't think so. However, she doesn't want either of them to damage the ship Bulma gave her, so she capsules it up for now. Krillin has to point out that Chi-Chi used to hate fighting so much. It's surprising to see how much she's changed. But instead of rambling, he should be focusing on Goten. It wouldn't be wise to underestimate him. Remembering who he's talking to, he apologizes, stating he seems well trained. The young boy gets in a quick stretch with his left leg. Or is it his right? He always gets them mixed up. He questions if Mr. Krillin here is ready, and is sorry to say, he doesn't look really strong. But he just wait and see. The turtle student dares him to land just a single hit. So far, it appears that Krillin's years of experience trumps the raw talent of Goten. He compliments he's keeping up, and that's good. But the boy flies into a fury at not being able to land a single finger on his opponent, shouting, what does he mean keeping up? All he's doing is disappearing. So far, he's only fought his mom and the dinosaurs on Mount Paozu, and that was a lot more fun than fighting him. He doesn't even know how to fight. Then it hits Krillin. Goten can't sense the power gap between them, which makes sense that he can't sense ki if only his mother has trained him. After all, she doesn't possess that ability, but it's pretty easy to learn. Though this only enrages Chi-Chi as well. She grunts for the warrior not to underestimate her, before bellowing to her son to forget what she said earlier. Which comes to his great surprise. She told him he could never, but she affirms it's completely fine this time. Giggling, the young fighter states this changes everything and it's time for round 2.
Oh shit.
To Krillin's sheer astonishment, and pretty much our expectation, this version of Goten has also unlocked Super Saiyan at a very early stage in life. His mother cackles to know if they're surprised. She told them he was strong. They seem to forget she also knows a thing or two about martial arts. Hiroshi just can't let this go. This shouldn't be possible. Sticking up her nose, Chi-Chi reveals, to be fair, she simply took away his video games and this was the result. A bit confused by the chatter, Goten asks what that super thing is they're talking about. But getting ignored, he decides since no one wants to answer, they can just get back to the fight.
Word.
Pleading for him to wait, Goten doesn't heed the request and Krillin is slugged in the face. The little brat bellows out in laughter at the thought of a one-hit knockout. He never even saw him coming. While her son cheers in the background, Chi-Chi notices Krillin isn't moving. Could he be?
There's no way the nigga can one-shot him, bro. There's no
Finally
way this nigga got
standing,
one. I was
Roshi
about to
panically
say.
asks if he's okay. But he tells him not to worry. He then scolds Goten that it's not really fair to plan to attack an opponent by surprise, especially when he's a Super Saiyan. Fortunately, he was able to accommodate and raise his power in time. In one ear and out the other, Goten only takes curiosity, and Super Saiyan is what this form is called. His mom just calls it being a little runt or delinquent. Anyway, if he's still standing, that means he's not as bad as he thought. Meanwhile, the old-timer finds it weird Krillin took that punch head on, but doesn't really seem to be hurting. Who smirks to admit his opponent is the youngest Super Saiyan he's ever seen, but he's also the weakest. And it's time for round 3. Unleashing a ×10 Kaioken. It wasn't known to the others until now he even knew such a technique.
Whoa,
the
what
power he's letting out is incredible. His former master wonders what kind of training he underwent to reach such a level.
Bro,
He
Krillin?
explains that during his trip to Otherworld, which is a child-friendly way of saying after Frieza killed him, King Kai taught him the basics of the technique. When he got wished back to life, he mostly disregarded using it in any practical way because he thought he was too weak. Regardless of the circumstances, he questions if Goten is ready to continue with their training. And as some kids will do, he brushes this off as nothing. He's red now, so what? All it means is this time he'll have no excuse. Life experience once again proving superior.
nah,
the turtle
bro.
student realizes
What?
Goten is already tired. He hasn't mastered his Super Saiyan transformation at all yet. With this, he tells him to return to his base form. That's enough for today. But he screams, it's not over! Powering up, the boy's ki rises dramatically. He vows to show his adversary he's not tired. It's only too bad he hasn't had time to name this attack yet. But a blast of this level would be far too dangerous around here. Deflecting it into the ocean, Krillin utters it's only lucky he took some of the force on himself. Otherwise, the entire island would have been submerged. To have this kind of power at such a young age is crazy. As the others are left in a stunned silence, the child is completely gassed out. Realizing he missed, he collapses, promising next time he'll win. Swooping in, the Mother Hawk frantically tries to bring her son back to consciousness. Krillin presses she not worry. He's only exhausted himself from using so much energy. Though she can't help but devolve into a sobbing mess crying this is all her fault and she's so sorry that she did this to her baby. Again, Krillin assures he will be okay and open his eyes soon. He guesses she actually hasn't changed that much after all. Roshi excitedly shouts the Turtle School has a new pupil. He wonders if Goku knows about Goten. Is this his final gift to humanity? A new hope.
A new hope.
Once Goten had recovered, Chi-Chi and Krillin agreed upon getting training 2 weeks per month. The time for the first goodbyes had come. The boy's mother tells him not to cry. She will be back for him soon, and not to forget to call her every day. Taking off and finally letting the tears flow herself. A new adventure has begun. But very soon, the young Saiyan will discover he may be in over the next year. Finds out they don't have any video game. Be in for more than he bargained for. As he finds out they don't have any video games. Over the next year, Goten would undergo the same training as Krillin and his father. By the time he was about 8 years old, all it took was a single day to get him flying. His mentor is really amazed by this. Even after 2 years, this kid never ceases to amaze him. It was a good idea to force him to train at minimum power to make him harden his body and mind. Now that he's perfectly mastered his ki, they can take their training to the next level. Enthusiastically learning the Kamehameha. He unfortunately damages Kame House. And not to be the only one doing some learning, he brings his video games to teach Krillin how to play. Though doing a fourth turn to the left comboed with a punch to perform a Hadouken doesn't make a lot of sense to the martial arts master. With their training going even better than expected,
Okay.
what surprises are still in store for our heroes? And what threats still lie ahead? Will Cell sense the new rising power on Earth? Or even worse, will Bobbity make his way to our little blue world?